Very much. Let's go live to that news conference right now in Burlington.
And my police chief, Peter Nimmer. At approximately 6:05 p.m. last night, the Burlington Fire Department received a fire call at Echo Lake Foods. It's a manufacturing plant here in the city of Burlington. The fire department discovered a significant fire upon arrival. Immediately called for assistance from the neighboring fire departments. The plant was successfully evacuated. There were no injuries to employees or so far to any firefighters. As of this time, it is an 8-alarm fire. Assistance has been provided to us from more than 80 different fire departments from an area all over throughout Wisconsin. Emergency crews are here from Racine, Walworth, Kenosha, Milwaukee, Waukesha, Dane, and several other counties throughout the state. Additionally, Racine Fire Department's hazardous unit is here on scene. They have set up monitors around the building to monitor the air quality. The police department has evacuated 10 homes and one apartment building, displacing about 50 people. They have been placed in housing for the night. Most of them had some place to go to with relatives or friends to spend the night. Those that didn't have were turned over to the Red Cross, who placed them in housing for this evening. This plant utilizes ammonia in its operations as well as liquid oxygen. The ammonia tanks have now been secured and there's no more danger of an explosion or a leak, I should say, from the ammonia gas. Echo Lake Produce manufactures bulk egg products for the commercial market. They employ approximately 300 people at this plant, and it's about a 70,000 square foot building. The fire is still ongoing. It is not under control as of this time. We have no damage estimate. We have no cause yet, and will not have until the fire is extinguished and we get in there with our investigation teams trying to determine the cause of the blaze. I'll take any questions you have. What I can't answer, I'll refer to my police chief and my fire department.
Mayor, where in the building did the fire start, or is that still under investigation?
I'll refer that to my fire chief.
What was the question, ma'am?
Where in the factory did the fire start? Have you at least found an origin or a location?
We do not have an origin. We do not have an origin at this time, but it is in the production area.
And who saw this?
That I don't know. We received a call at approximately 6:05. When we did respond, there was fire coming out of the south side of the building.
Does the Echo Lake plant have any systems in place to kind of get things started as in terms of fighting a fire?
I have no idea. I can't comment on that because I do not know.
So the production area, is that the main building? Because we got initial reports that the origin was kind of near storage sheds.
No, it would be in the main building.
In the main building. Okay.
How many people were working at that time?
That I do not know.
And at what point did you guys say, hey, we need more backup because immediately, and it's primarily because of the weather, or how does that work?
The size of the structure, the weather, the amount of possible fire in the building.
Chief, the fire is still ongoing. What do you do from here? Where do you go from here? Any idea of how soon that fire will be contained?
The fire is diminished from what it was. There still is active fire. It is not contained at this point. As you saw right out here in the staging area, we have fresh vehicles, fresh personnel that we will continue to rotate in.
I understand this was a second shift. This fire happened during the second shift. How many people were at work at that time?
I do not have that information.
Are you still asking for assistance from other counties and other departments?
At this point, we have assistance out in the parking lot, as you see. We have the facilities to get more assistance if we need it through the MAVIS system.
And this is going into a 24-hour operation. Just talk about, I mean, this must be exhausting.
We have rotated crews and we have rotated equipment. That's why the large number of departments that were called in, the large number of personnel that we have had. We've tried to rotate both vehicles and manpower.
And with the rotation, how are firefighters keeping warm, staying safe?
Most of the firefighters that we have rotated, we have sent back to their own departments. We're not rotating out and then rotating back in. When you rotate out, you go home, and we'll rotate in fresh troops.
We saw some crews getting some water, possibly from a water source along Highway 36. Is there a need of some water?
Yes, we've used, and I don't have a figure, but we have used large amounts of water to fight the fire, so we have numerous supply points.
And I know some of the communities around here don't have fire hydrants. Does this community have fire hydrants?
This community does have fire hydrants, but in addition to that, we have also done some drafting.
This is one of the biggest employers in this city. And Mayor, I mean, this is devastating to the city.
This is one of the larger employers in the city. This will affect the city greatly, as well as obviously Echo Lake. We will attempt to work with the owners of the company, with the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, with Racine County Development Corporation, in an attempt to help them rebuild and reopen the plant as soon as possible.
Have you been in touch with the owner? Or?
Yes, I have talked to the plant manager a couple times tonight, and I'll put it out on his behalf. He's instructed his employees to stay home and wait for a phone call from the company as to what their next obligation and what the next reporting time is going to be.
Do you guys believe everybody got out of the building safe?
Everyone is out of the building as far as employees go. They all escaped. No one was injured that way. And as of right now, we have no injured firefighters, despite the weather and the icy conditions.
I have a question with the fire chief. Is this a fire that you fight in a defensive mode on the outside? Have you been able to get inside at all?
The majority of it has been on a defensive mode. At this point, we are attempting to do somewhat of an interior attack if we are able to get crews in. The roof is not sound to put people on the roof. We have brought in a high hole to open up part of the back of the structure so we can get it open and try to get into the interior.
Have there been any collapses to the building, walls coming down that you...
Not walls that I'm familiar with, but the roof is unstable in some sections there. Some of that may have come down.
And I had heard you guys had a backhoe. What are you guys using that for, and is it helping you guys make some progress?
What we're trying to do at this point is to open up a section of the back wall so that we can gain access to it from the outside, possibly put water in that way, rather than committing people inside.
And do you think you have a better handle on this once the sun rises and you get a better look at it? Because I understand this happened at 6 at night.
We got the call at approximately 6:05, and we've been there ever since. As I said, the fire is greatly diminished from what it was. We do have still uncontrolled fire in one area on the south end up on the second floor. That's where we're at right now, trying to deal with that.
You said by the time you got there, there were already flames.
There was some flames coming out the south side of the building when we got there.
It seems like a fast-growing fire. Is that because of some of the chemicals that were in the building? Is that part of it?
I don't know that it was fast-going. I can't comment on that because we don't know at this point how much fire was inside of the building.
But everybody, I mean, even the homeowners from across the way and all that, I mean, everybody seemed to get out very quickly. I mean, everybody's got to be happy about that.
Yes, everybody was evacuated. There are no injuries to either employees or firefighters.
And could you give us maybe a time reference? I know the fire is still under out of control as in terms of when those residents may be able to go back to their place?
I have no idea at this point.
But there is no danger?
No, we have 4 air monitoring units up monitoring the air, and there is no danger, but we want to be proactive with people being evacuated rather than reactive.
Is this something where once the fire is contained, then you come together and talk and discuss when residents can possibly go back in? Is the focus now the fire, and then you figure out?
Basically, we've been meeting continually since we've been there. The police chief, myself, people from Southeast Wisconsin Emergency Management. This is an ongoing situation. So when it is deemed safe, they will be told they can return.
And why did you evacuate?
Officials down in Burlington updating the situation on this 8-alarm blaze at a food processing company in Racine County. More than 50 people still without a place to stay overnight as they were evacuated from their homes.
Yeah, 8-alarm fire. Remarkably, you look at these dramatic pictures and images we've been bringing to you, and nobody was hurt, although there were employees working there at the time, and no nearby residents or firefighters were injured as well. We will continue to monitor this. We do have crews obviously there. Team coverage coming up.